Okay, guys, on your left side of your journal, we're going to do the bubble map. And so, who can tell me, based on those videos that we watched?
We're supposed to write that?
Yeah, so you want to write the word sorry. Yeah, write this on top, describing, write a circle in the middle, write bubble map on the bottom. This is on your left page. It's going to end up looking like this, but we have to fill it in together, right? It's going to end up looking, I'll show the whole thing. It's going to end up looking like a bubble map. Left page. Okay. If you are listening to this as a recording, I wasn't able to describe the left-right side page thing to you, so I'm not worried about you doing it on the left page. Just we'll go over that when I'm with you guys. Okay, so what is the main thing you think we're talking about? Can anyone tell me? Because that's what we're going to put in the center. What's the main idea that we're going over? Huh? Yeah, it's math for sure. But what specifically in math are we talking about in this chapter 7.1? Specifically A and B. What's the broad term that we're learning about? And maybe you know and maybe you don't. Does anyone have an idea? Huh? Okay, so I would say it's either, I would go with this. If anyone could finish it before I do, I would appreciate it. No? Yeah, polynomials. That's what we're basically talking about. All your videos should have somehow been related to this idea of polynomials. I'm not leaving enough room to finish the word. Polynomials. Some of you could have put monomials based on some of those videos, but even that is basically going to be talking about polynomials. So, what are some things that we learned about in these videos that would describe a polynomial? Like, tell us something about a polynomial. I don't really, it doesn't matter to me right now. If, as the question was, do we write in your journals, do we write it sideways or do we write it this way? Because you can flip a page pretty easy. I don't care right now. But what we'll see is, because this is my first time doing it with a class too, as we keep going, if we see that it's all messy or sloppy, then we'll adjust as we go. But I want it to be your notes. I want it to be something you can use, even though I'm going to grade it. Yeah. Okay, so polynomials. Could anyone tell me something about polynomials based on the video that you guys watched? All right. What's something we can say about polynomials?
Like you gotta add it.
Yeah. Very good. So when we're talking about degrees of polynomials, you add the exponents, right? So there's degrees of polynomial, or actually of monomials, and you just add the exponents, right? And when I say add exponents, we're only talking about the exponents on variables, right? So like, if it was x to the third, y to the fourth, it'd be 3 plus 4 is 7. The answer, the degree of that monomial would be 7. Very good. That's one of the things it talked about. I know you guys watched a whole bunch of short little videos, right? What is something else that, maybe something that we could say about polynomials that describe them? If it's what? Okay, so if it's a number with no terms, it's just 0. Yeah. A polynomial with no terms is 0. Cool. Anything else, guys, that you could say that would describe a polynomial? So we talked about degrees. Oh, what about classifying polynomials? What are the different types of polynomials out there? Did you guys get to that video? What if there's only one term? What's it called? What if there's only one term? What's that polynomial called? Anyone? Starts with the M. Monomial means there's only one term. Maybe something like x, y to the third. See how there's no plus or minus to it? It's just, that's a monomial. Does anyone know what's after a monomial? If we were classifying it, it'd be a monomial. Yeah, actually, everything else is called a polynomial. But there's certain types of polynomials. And one of them, what if it only has two terms? What if it was like an xy to the third, or xy squared plus 4y? Now there's a plus sign separating the terms, so there's two. So what is that called? Oh, I thought you were going to say it's a nomial's the end, but what's the root word? Does anyone know? The first. If there's two, it's called a binomial, right? Bi meaning like a bicycle, there's two. It's just the word that means two. So binomials means two numbers, literally. What if I were to add three terms? What if it was like x squared plus 2x minus 4? Now there's three terms, because there's a plus or minus sign separating three different terms. What would that be called? If a monomial is 1 and a binomial was 2, what do you think three terms is called? Well, I like to think of it almost like a bicycle has two wheels. What if something has three wheels? What do we call it? A tricycle. Well, same thing. It's a trinomial. Tri becomes the root word, and that's something that has three terms. So we've learned about degrees of monomials. We learned that if there's nothing there, it's just a zero, it's zero. We learned there's different types of classifying them, which is the and then something else we learned is what? What else can you guys say about polynomials? Okay, if it's in standard form, if it's in standard form, it's going to have the largest degree will be first in standard form. So polynomial and one variable is in standard form when the exponents of the term decreases from left to right. So standard form would be something like this: x to the third plus x squared plus 3x. You see how it's getting smaller? It's declining as it goes. You guys see what I mean? 3, 2, 1. That's in standard form. And notice it's one variable. And someone say, well, it's three variables there. No, it's only one variable. The variable is x. And it gets smaller. It goes in descending order. In one variable. Cool. Okay, guys. One more thing. I know we actually haven't covered everything about polynomials yet. We really haven't. Someone tell me one more thing about polynomials, and we will be done with our bubble map, and I will be happy with the bubble map. It's pretty good. One more thing from the videos you watched. Can anyone think of anything else? Did you guys get to this thing called the leading coefficient? That would be something. The leading coefficient. By the way, coefficient just means number, right? It means not a variable, not a letter. It means like a number. So the leading coefficient would just be leading means it's the first, right? So the leading coefficient is the coefficient of the first term. So if I had something like 3x to the third power plus 2x minus 1, the leading coefficient would be that 3 because it's leading and it's a number. And this is in standard form because it's getting smaller each time. See, it's x to the third, and it's just an x. Okay? So this bubble map is all we did was describe polynomials based on the videos you guys watched. Okay? Cool. Thank you, guys. Thank you for participating. I'm going to stop the video. I think you guys got it.